Welcome back to Sports First, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Sabotage. Today we are doing the NBA Ballers League edition of the show. State of the NBA as we look around the league as stuff is getting heated up with Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokovic, the Yogstar himself, are fighting it out for the MVP, ladies and gentlemen. John Morant, he, I don't see him actually getting it since a lot, he missed, like 15 or so games, and the team looked good without him. But now they're missing Dylan Brooks, and they still look good without I'm guessing a lot of y'all probably forgot about that, but if you didn't, hey, you're thinking like me did. Because he's been out for, I thought it was like, 2 or 3 weeks he was going to be out for. I forget the injury. That's one thing I don't keep up to date with is the injuries. I just, like, out of nowhere, I hear that the players come back, and I'm like, hey. Like Jamal Murray, I just heard that he was being sent down to the G League, similar to James Wiseman, and that he's going to be, testing it out, pretty much testing out the, just seeing how he is, I guess, and then eventually he's obviously going to be back with the team, and that team is going to be scary. Then that should help out Nicola a little bit more. Like I said, with John Moran, I just don't, man. If he would have completed a full season, he would probably have an MVP season, or he would be the clear favorite because, man, he's just been dominating these past couple of games. But he did miss yesterday's game. Devin Booker looks nice too, but at the same time, his team is it's more of a complete team. Their bench is good. They're looking like the favorite to win the title, but then again, it's all over the place with the NBA title, or pretty much the contenders and the favorites, because this whole year has just been all over the place. Because, you could look at the Miami Heat, you could see them as a winner, Bucks as a winner, 76ers with the addition of James Harden, the Bulls, but the Bulls are just not that great against top tier teams, as in the tops. I think they've won. I don't think they've actually won any of their games against the top three or so. I forget, it was a stat that I seen on Insta or whatever. But that's one of the other things I just very bad at looking up. I just don't like looking up the stats and stuff too much. I'm more of the watch the games and see how the players are and how the teams are. More just look at the whole NBA pretty much compared to which stats are really important in this day and age, which I try here and there, but I'm more of the watch the games, and analyzing and stuff like that. But like I said a while back, like 2 months ago, I did say the Boston Celtics would get back to the top area, and they have. They're at top 5 right now. They're out of that play-in scenario, which is good for them. Cavaliers surprisingly have been really, really good this year, but I did say they were pretty good last year myself. But you could say that about almost any team, like the Sacramento Kings, even though they demolished that whole project and pretty much started a whole new project. I thought they could have been good, but they just weren't mixing and just team chemistry. Nothing was really working for them. Another team that I was thinking that could have been good, but just didn't. Pacers, I thought would be good. Detroit Pistons. I figured that. They got such a talented team, similar to, you could say, Cavs, but they're a little bit younger. They're just all around talent. They even added, Marvin Bagley. They also added Marvin Bagley. I'm surprised the Sacramento Kings pretty much let him go for nothing. I don't remember that, because I don't remember that it was that much they gave him up for. I think it was pretty much free. There's a good chance it was free, and he was a first round, or he was a lottery draft pick. So That was shocking because he was pretty good last year, to be honest. But he's got obviously some flaws in his game. But what NBA player doesn't? I mean, um, the Lakers, they have just been, I guess you could say, awful, terrible. 29 wins and 39 losses. Holy mo, that's wild to think that a team with LeBron, the GOAT James, has 39 losses. I mean, the Cavs teams were pretty bad, but they didn't have the so-called star power, as in Russell West and Anthony Davis. Man, you would think from the criticism that he got last year and Magic calling him out and everything last year that he would find a way to stay away from the injuries. I mean, the last injury was like one that was kind of hard to stay away from, but there's been some, if you feel like if he was in a better shape or just did some stuff to get away from it, he probably could. But then again, big man, it's like they're more injury prone players. But then again, look at Karl Anthony Towns. He's not as, I'm not sure if he's as tall or the same height as Anthony Davis, but this dude is like, I don't even remember him having a serious injury. I mean, you could look at Nikola Jovic. I don't remember him having like a serious injury. Embiid, he's not on that because he's had a couple of injuries where the season could have gone much better if he was around. The podcast is also on Podbeam as of now. I'm on you. Well, I've been on YouTube, but I'm gonna be getting on other platforms later on. Like I said, other teams, as in Miami Heat, that's one like all around team. Like it's just in the East Coast, it's surprising, but the East Coast is actually better than the West Coast, if in a way. I mean, to be honest, they're both really good conferences, at least at the top 6 to 7. I mean, if the Lakers were healthy too, the Lakers would be a really good team because Anthony Davis hasn't been there half the time. And it's just been, Russell Westbrook has just been bad, to be honest. He was actually pretty good with the Wizards. That's why when I was kind of shocked when he decided to leave that team. It just almost didn't make sense to me. Well, another thing that didn't make sense to me, how the Lakers just demolished a team that had won a title. Yes, it was a team that won a title in was a short year. It was the first year of COVID and all. But still, you just don't. I mean, they were number one in defense last year before injuries started getting them. LeBron was just injured here and there. Anthony Davis, as you already know, he's been dealing with injuries pretty much his whole career. I don't remember a year where Anthony Davis has not really been injured. At least I remember when he was with the Pelicans. There was a lot of people saying oh, he didn't want to play because he was with the Pelicans and they were in a really good team and all. But I mean, now that you think about it, he probably was actually injured during those times, and it wasn't just him not playing. But I don't know for sure. But from knowing all this, the stuff that's been happening with the Lakers and all, it's just you don't know, man. Another team that's been really good is the Timberwolves. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite teams that's just been really. I mean, they were actually really good last year. I was surprised they weren't as good, but I mean, just all around. We could look at their squad real quick. I forget some of their players' names, but I mean, you got D'Angelo Russell, you got Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards hasn't been as good for some reason as of late. Let's look at his numbers, specific numbers, real quick. I don't know what's been going on with him, but I don't think it was an injury. I don't remember him having an injury or nothing, but as you can see right there, he did miss a couple of games in a row, so I'm not sure if, like I said, injuries, sometimes I just don't keep up with him like that. I don't know if he got COVID or what happened, but as you see, his numbers have declined. 16, 25, 15, and 5. That's pretty bad. I do believe that Anthony, I mean, I did say last year that I believe this guy is a future MVP candidate. him, LaMelo is obviously one of those other really young players that's gonna be in that area. We can look at some of the defense. I didn't even go too deep into that. The Timberwolves, but obviously they got Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. They got Vanderbilt, defensive player. They got Malik Beasley, 3-point shooter and defensive and just all around player. That's what I mean. That's why I like this team a lot. It's just all around, a team that's pretty much complete in a way. It just needs a couple more years, maybe another player, but where do you get that other player? I'm not sure. Do you draft and just, well, actually you can't. I mean, because I don't know if you can draft them. I mean, who would you get in the draft? I don't know if they have a high draft pick for the next year or not, but we'll see what they do this year. But yeah, let's look at some stats, and that's pretty much going to be it for today. As in defensive stats, defensive leaders. See, on ESPN NBA, it says, I don't know if this is for just this week or, well, I don't know if it says, okay, 2021-22 regular season. Let's see the complete leaderboard in defensive stats, 2021. You got the Mavericks. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers. You would kind of think it's with the Dallas Mavericks, kind of a surprise with being the number one defensive. Because actually, over here on NBA, where is that NBA one? Okay, let's find that NBA one. Because I remember in the NBA one, it says when you go on the NBA one, it's the Phoenix Suns, which I guess makes a little bit more sense. But there it says, I don't know what website it is. Yeah, this ESPN NBA. Then you go to NBA. Let's go to NBA real quick, like the official. So let's just type down defensive ratings. Let's check that out real quick, and there we go. Phoenix Suns show up with their pretty good record, really good record. Then you got Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, that's gameplay. For some reason, I was like, it's kind of shocked seeing 69 wins, but that's games played. 69 games played. 55 and 14 losses. I guess it's amazing in these days lately, with all the bad records out there, and all West. Is this just one conference? This is one conference. No, this isn't one conference. See, you got Memphis Grizzlies, you got Golden State, Miami Heat, then you got Boston at 8. Then you go to this other website. I'm not too sure on these stats and all, but defensive rating with minimum of 20 or 2,000 minimum minutes played per 82 games leaders. Okay, so their ratings are 102 for who is that? I guess then Robert Williams makes sense for the number one defensive player in the league. Usually, what has it been like 3 years where Rudy Gobert has been getting MVP or defensive MVP, I guess, or most defensive player of the year. For God's sakes, I could not get that out, ladies and gentlemen. Then you got Al Horford. It's a bunch of Boston players, so that's why a friend was telling me, or just actually told me, he was like that Boston is the number one defensive team in the league, and I was kind of shocked to hear that. But I was hearing during the game too that they were pretty high up there, but I didn't know they were that high. You got Al Horford on there. You got Tatum on there. There's Smart's also on there. And you got Jaylen Brown, Jay Breezy. Obviously, that Boston team is pretty good. Like I said, man, this East Coast is stacked to the brim. Let's see, are we on ESPN? We are on ESPN NBA. Let's go back to NBA. Nope. Where's the official NBA? Okay. We are not finding it. Yeah, see, you got the Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat up there. You got Milwaukee Bucks. Then you got all the way down to 8, Boston Celtics. But there are some other points allowed. Who is number one in that? Points allowed, yeah. Oh, see, that's where Dallas Maverick is legit at. Points allowed 103.5, and then you got Cavaliers 103.8. Boston Celtics would see it's not that off with all of these teams with the 103, the top three that is, and then the four 104.7. But the three is what really matters, and teams are averaging 33.5 on the Mavericks, 34.7 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston Celtics with the 33.8, so it's pretty good. That makes sense, I guess. 3 points made, 10.7, 11.5, and 11.7. But yeah, I guess it makes sense that Boston is on that top. But then, as I said, see the points allowed, it says one. I don't fully understand the lineups. This website called lineups.com. I've actually never heard of them. While I was looking for these rankings and all, I found this website. I've never really heard of it. It's the first time. I didn't fully understand that. I'm not really great with stats anyways. But steals 24, 25. I don't know what's that per amount of games or what the heck that is. 3 points allowed, it says one, but is that point minute, point couple of minutes, point what? For God's sakes. They don't really have like a category area like explaining. I tried clicking and I just wasn't getting it. See, there's these red dots and all, but I don't fully understand these stats from lineups.com. Maybe you should, see, there is holy moly, they have a whole thing down here. Best defense in history and all this other stuff. But, yeah, I guess that's going to be it today. This is longer than usual because I am officially on, Podbean. Is it Podbean or Podbeam.com? Let me look at my phone real quick and see what Bean. B-A-B-A-N. Bean. I thought it was Podbeam. Because, just your beaming podcast, I guess. Sounds pretty good, Podbeam. That could be a website, right? But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll keep them coming with my next one most likely being about UFC with Tom Aspinall, Paddy Pimblett, a couple other Euro fighters. This is the first UFC event in Europe ever since COVID-19 hit. I know Bellator had one down there. I don't know if any other. I'm pretty sure there was a couple other people, but Dana White was saying he was going to be the first one, even though he didn't. He wasn't the first one. It was the owner of Bellator. Pretty sure there was some boxing down there too, but I'm not 100 on that either. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Oh, and NFL, I'm just not really going to be doing too much on NFL now. I'm going to wait until it comes back because I just feel like I have enough with the NBA and UFC at the moment. I was thinking about doing like trade to like what the trades all going on, Aaron Rodgers signings and all that other stuff, but it's kind of past that. So Sabotage out, and thanks for the watch, ladies and gentlemen, and the listen.